Continue. Hello, and welcome to another version of It's Tea Time with Neville Gawn and Tony Westwood. And we
Good
hope you
morning.
enjoyed. Good morning, Tony. I hope you enjoyed the first session. It was short, sharp, and sweet. And if you read what we put in the chat area within YouTube, then you will be on your way to being a better golfer. But what we thought we'd do today is we'd take it up a bit because golfers need some practice. They need some drills. Isn't that right, Tony?
Absolutely. I think Gary Player said, the more he practices, the luckier he gets. And there's many quotes around practice doesn't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. And I think it's helping golfers appreciate how many repetitions you have to do and how many repetitions with a real purpose that you have to do to make a difference.
Absolutely right. And one of the pieces of feedback we got from our first session was a guy from Jeff, is at Newcastle, and he just said he hadn't realised this was about layering process. And that's where we're going to start again today. We're going to do a little bit of layering. Tony's got a fantastic little drill for you that not many golfers do. I don't see many people practice this anywhere. So over to Tony. He's going to just show you this very simple drill you can do anywhere you are.
I think that the biggest thing that comes out when we've done our work together for the last almost 10 years now, Neville, is how little golfers understand how relaxed they've got to be. And the biggest joint I've found where there's no relaxation essentially comes in the humbled wrist. We've got a pair of them, all right? So it's understanding how they need to relax. So I've just got my little club I use when I'm kind of coaching because it gives you a good visual representation of what needs to happen. So the first stage of this is just holding the club in front of you and just learning to let the club move and feel the weight of the club head as it goes up and down. Okay, that sounds very simple. What most golfers tend to do is the wrist joint gets tight and the whole arm goes up and down in terms of how they try and move the club. Well, there's not going to be much energy in that. And we want to just allow and feel the weight of the club head to go up and down. Reminds me of the fly fishing by J.R.R. Hartley in the Yellow Pages ads years ago. If we do it with the right hand, we want to be able to do the same with the left hand. Okay, and as we do this, we notice the club's travelling up and down the same line. So that means the club is travelling in plane. If I was hitting a hammer hitting a nail with a hammer, then the nail would be going in straight. So the next stage from this is to actually turn the club. So with your right hand, you're going palm upwards. And the idea now is to hinge the wrists to the right, if you're right-handed. Let the wrist unhinges and go through to the left. Seeing if you can keep that club head or shaft nice and horizontal, so parallel to the ground. So you get that feel going backwards and forwards all the time. Now, what I see lots of golfers doing initially when they do this is they start trying to do it too quick. And the club goes all over the place. It's more like windscreen wipers rather than staying horizontally. So once we can get the feel of that and we do it nice and slow, remember we said at the beginning, it's quality repetitions. So do it nice and slowly to build up the awareness, paying attention to the fact that the shaft and the club head stay horizontal. Once you can do it with your more dominant hand, I'm right-handed, so I do now with my left hand, and I had to train myself really carefully to be able to do this equally as well with my left hand as I could with my right hand. So we get that feel of that club working backwards and forwards. Now, I've got a shortened club here, so it's quite light. If you're using a full length club, a great way to start is by going lower down the shaft, so it makes the club head feel a bit lighter. And then you can pay attention to both ends of the club and see if you can keep that staying nice and horizontal. So that shaft stays horizontal, the club head travels around the same line. And the more repetitions you can do of that, I would recommend if you can do anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes of that a day, do that before you start your practice session on the range, then you'll understand more how the wrists need to work together to get the club moving from one side of the body to the other. So the club head will move faster than the hands. If the club moves faster than the hands, then you've got acceleration and the ball will travel a long way and you will be in control of the club head. I think that's key really for any golfer.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get us wrong, folks out there. Tony's been doing this for some time, so you will struggle with it at first. It won't be that easy, but as he says, you can go. You won't have a shortened club, so you've got some advantage on your hand. In that, if you put your hand down the club, you've actually got the grip that you can see, and if you can see that coming in a plane, literally, just strokes the underside of your arm,
Absolutely.
you've got it perfect. And
Yeah.
going back to what Tony said at the beginning, all good carpenters should be really good club players because they know how to put a nail in. They know that
Mm-hmm.
you don't knock it over here and knock it over there and bend it all over. They equally know you don't take it from the elbow or the shoulder. So it's literally just a wrist action. The Queen's got it off, well, the King now, it's got it off to Pat, hasn't it? Hello, hello. And you can do that with your left hand as well. And that's as easy as it is. And a lot of people make it far more complicated than they need to. So, Tony, can you just run through that little session again so that we leave people on no underestimation of what they've got to do and how easy
I
it is?
think I think the key thing to remember is one, if you didn't read the preface in the comments from last week, you need to go back and read them.
Absolutely.
I've already had to remind people that they are there, and you pointed quite purposefully that read down below. Okay, so there are going to be giveaways within the comment section as well. So the key thing here is one, keeping the club shaft traveling on plane. So the first stage is one. Can you just relax your wrists? So all that's moving up and down is the club head and the shaft articulated by your wrist. Do that with both hands. So you should be able to feel the weight of the club drop down. What we're not looking for is the wrist stays stiff and the whole arm goes up and down. It wouldn't be very effective. Once we've realized we can let the weight of the club go, then all we want to do is see if we can hinge the wrist back to the right, keeping the club shaft horizontal, parallel to the ground. Then we want to unhinge and rehinge so that club head is staying nice and horizontal backwards and forwards. Try that with your dominant hand first. Okay, so if you're right-handed, you do it right-handed. If you're left-handed, you do it left-handed. So once you've got that motion working, then swap hands and do the same with the left hand. So you get that motion going backwards and forwards. Do it slowly. We really can't stress that enough. If you're finding it challenging, do it as slowly as you can at the beginning. We need to earn the right to increase the speed and move faster without loss of control. So we really want to keep those repetitions nice and slow and then build up your awareness. Then you should be able to move the club with both hands nice and easily backwards and forwards so that club shaft stays parallel to the ground, stays horizontal, working backwards and forwards. If you can do this sitting down, it's great because it means you're not going to be moving other parts of your body as well. So you just want to get the feel of that club moving backwards and forwards. And I think at some stage we can do a little demonstration where we're doing it with a bigger club and we can help people understand how to take it to the next level.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of what we call layering. And we're all well in tune with layering because if you've been at school for 14 years, every year is a different layer. No matter what subject you're doing it to a slightly higher level. So we're still in the foundation here. And I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Please do this drill. You can do it anywhere. You can even do it in your bedroom. If you're watching TV at night, you can do it in bed because you don't have to go anywhere. So I hope that's going to help you. Tune in for next time. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Bye now.